Now, Rhys, you don't know this about me. I have a soft spot in my heart for Pontiacs. I've had a few Pontiacs. So I know what a Pontiac looks like. Last I checked, that's not a Pontiac.
No, that is a '69 Dodge Charger. And that is on set in 2005 in Louisiana for Dukes of Hazzard. Had the opportunity through the racing, really randomly, and the rallying prior to that. I got called by a group that said, we're from a studio, we're shooting a movie, we have a scene in the movie that is going to be based around rally cars. I was like, okay. I had small dabbles in the film industry at that point, and they said, we want to come down and see your collection of rally cars and just kind of get an understanding for where we're going to go from an art directing standpoint and so forth. So they came down. In our showroom, we had a loop video of drifting going on. As they were walking through the door, I made sure that it was on me driving. And randomly they asked, who's driving that? And I'm like, oh.
You don't say.
Yeah, well, funny you mentioned that. So we got past the nuts and bolts of what they were there for, and on the way out they mentioned, what are you doing tomorrow? Nothing, it was a Saturday, and they're like, Warner Brothers Studios, we're doing a rehearsal for this movie. We're bringing out some of Hollywood's top drivers, stunt drivers, to audition for the part of driving the lead vehicle. I was like, sounds cool. They still didn't mention anything of what it was, and do you think you could bring your race car, your drift car up and do a demonstration and maybe try driving this vehicle that we're going to have? Pretty excited, butterflies in the chest, and loaded up the race car and went up there, and they had Hollywood's finest stood up in a line. I even brought my dad out as well, because I was like, well, if I'm not going to get this, he is, because he's pretty good. And then they rolled out this car that was not painted or anything. It was just this rusty old bomb. Yeah. And it just so happened to be, they said, you're here to audition for the part of driving the General Lee for the new Dukes of Hazzard movie.
Yeah.
I had been 6 years old plus, sitting, laying on the floor with my chin in my hands Friday night at 7 o'clock every night in New Zealand, watching the Dukes of Hazzard. And
it was Friday night in New Zealand as well.
Yeah, and dreamed of driving the General Lee. My dad was a rally car driver, and all of a sudden here I was living in the US, and this opportunity had been presented to me, so there was no way that I was going to lose this battle. We lined it up. Everyone got to drive the car and perform their maneuvers. They set up like 3 or 4 different staged stunts, and 2 days later I got the call.
Got the call. That's funny. I've watched Dukes of Hazzard. I think, how many of you guys have watched Dukes of Hazzard? You guys all watched Dukes of Hazzard? A couple of years. I know they sound funny in that, but they don't sound like the way you talk.
Yeah, they're good outlaws down there.
So
I actually married a Southern girl. She's from North Carolina.
Wow.
She doesn't quite have a twang like that, but yeah.
So were you Bo or Luke Duke?
I was Bo Duke. I had to wear this awesome blonde wig that I was told cost $3,000, and it was so hot and scratchy I was chucking it on the dashboard after every take. Then they gave me like a $200 wig because they saw how I was treating the $3,000 wig. But yeah, for 2.5 months in Louisiana, that was my job.
Yeah.
Hop up, put on a Bo Duke costume. God, I can't remember what the t-shirt was then. Put on this wig and go drive the General Lee 6 days a week for 2.5 months.
I think you need to change the livery of your global rallycross car. I think that would shake the thing. So
should we keep the flag on the roof? Or
Jim, what do you think? Get the lamb chops in there, General Lee livery, we're all set.
Perfect. Ironically enough, just the start of this year, some of you may have seen it or not, Autotrader did a new campaign with the original cast. And I got asked to come back and drive the car, so it was quite cool. So
you got
went back
2
down
chances to drive General Lee?
So went back down there and did that with the original cast, and that was quite fun to work on set with those guys.
But before you met your wife, I believe you were hanging out with rock stars or movie stars.
Yes, that would be on set of Dukes of Hazzard, and that is Johnny Knoxville, who played Luke Duke, And not that we had too many days together, but we had many nights together, and that boy is a rock star.
Literally.
And I was single back then too,
Yeah.
and I made sure the accent was really thick.
You did the old trick where you on one side of the bar. Click here to subscribe. And can we ask you guys a favor? Can you watch these within the first 36 hours? Because it gets us more views, which gets us more dollars, which gets you more episodes. And of course, follow us, MotoManTV, all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll see you guys next time.